Now, where am I supposed to listen?
Just to us.
To you.
If you can stand.
4, 3, 2.
The Life and Times of Esther Vaughn. Learn more right after this.
Traditional light bulbs actually generate 9 times more heat than light. Switch to Energy Star light bulbs, and you'll realize just how much cash you were really burning through. Saving energy saves you money. Learn more at EnergySavers.gov.
Welcome to Community Watch. Greg,
Doc,
how you doing?
just fine.
Good. This I really like that. It's somewhat similar.
I'm taking a cue from your wardrobe.
Really? You going to start wearing regular ties then?
No, I said taking cues. That's what I'm saying. No, I'm going to stick with the bow ties for now.
Well, we have a friend as a guest today.
We do.
And not only a friend of ours, but a friend of the community.
We do. And actually, I'm kind of surprised that, I'm glad she won the award, but I was kind of surprised that she hadn't already won it, to be honest with you.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. Yeah. Because we're talking about Miss Vaughn today, and a lot of us who know her affectionately joke, but she really has been a trailblazer and has really been not only for the African American community, but she has really been a bridge builder in relations, a human relation. And I don't think a lot of people may recognize the true dedication she has to making this community a better place.
Well, I have some very vivid memories of meeting Ms. Vaughn when she was serving as principal at the Transitional Academy. But I learned very quickly, you do not say no to this woman.
Yes, ma'am. Let me figure out how I'm going to do it, but it'll get done. Yeah.
So anyway, we will have Esther Vaughn as a guest today, recent winner of the Heart of the Community Award, and I think it'll be a very entertaining talk. So please stay with us. We'll be right back after this.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we are thrilled to have with us today Esther Vaughn, both of you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
And you brought your Handsome Award today, and your cutout.
Almost life-size.
Now, have you been driving around with this figure?
No, I have not. Trust me, I let the back seat down and I laid it face down. I didn't even keep the face. It was face down. We don't want this.
Now, see, I can see how this might have come in handy when you were principal. You could put this up in the window, and the students would think you were in your office.
Oh, that would have been a wonderful, unique experience. Or in the hall, and they'd think I'm standing in the hall. Because it was so funny. Someone had come to the Heart of the Community the other night and said to me, they were looking at the cutout. And they were standing there and saying, I know that lady. And I waved at her, but she did not wave back.
That is nice, though.
Well, it is certainly overdue.
Thank you.
I know the Heart of Community Awards have been given out for, I don't know, 10,
This
15
is the
years.
25th.
Are
year,
you
I believe.
serious?
I believe they said
Wow.
the 25th. I think I'm correct.
But I'm glad that they
Yeah.
finally did the
Well,
right thing.
I'm saying we know a lot of people are deserving. And we know people are deserving, but when I think of the heart of the community for me personally, not just you, but also the Godfather, your family, what you two have done together, just really resonates with me because you really give so much of your time, of your free time. It's not your work time. It's not stuff you have to do. You and the Godfather have given a lot of time, off the clock to the community. And it really sets with me that, this is what it takes to truly be a leader, to be a leader in the community. It's really giving back at a cost because you really could easily sit down and not do anything. But I think you're more active now than you probably were when you was actually working.
You're probably right. And I know and I appreciate so much what you're saying. Thank you for both of us. But in actuality, when you are doing things that you have a passion for, when you are doing those things, you're not thinking in terms of, oh, somebody's going to recognize this, somebody's going to see this. That's not why you're doing it. You are doing it because you genuinely care. And that's what has just continuously been my role, doing the things that I love to do and hopefully seeing some results.
Well, I know you got a ton of questions. Well, take us back, Ms. Vaughn, because for me, Doc, a little bit older than me, but where did this all begin? Because I know the Mother Vaughn version. I know the Mother Vaughn, the accomplished, the veteran, but where did all of this in education begin for you? When did this become such a passion for you?
Well, I guess we can probably, and I'm trying to think, first of all, going back to when I began teaching. And I'm not ashamed to say I'm proud of it. I'm still here, And that was in 1969. And I came into Rome City Schools. And so things just gradually evolved from that point, You were doing your job, and then there were things on the side that you were doing, always doing. This has just been something that from church to community, it has just been that kind of thing. And so then, as I aged, certainly aged through the years, and as I looked toward retirement, I was doing things even while I was working. But then once I retired, if someone came up and said, oh, we'd like for you to serve on this board, and I knew what they were doing, they were known, they were out there, then I would consent. And one thing, before you know it, one thing just leads to another.
Well, I would love to hear about some of the activities and things you worked on in those early years. And I know we'll only get to talk about a fraction of what you've been up to over this time, but I remember at some point hearing about the work that you've done with music at the church,
Okay.
or through the church. And that seemed to me so unique and special. And I'd like to hear a little bit about that.
Well, basically, I retired as the minister of music at Lovejoy Baptist Church, but I had been there forever. When I say forever, I started before there was such a title, playing at Lovejoy Baptist Church when I was in high school. And it might have been one Sunday here, once a month. Then when I went to college, and during the time I was in Atlanta, at Clark Atlanta, now Clark Atlanta, it was Clark College then. During the time I was there, for a particular choir, one day a month, they would send for me to come home to play for that choir. And so things just continued to evolve. You know, I was not full-time then. Then things evolved into that through the years. And I think that is why I am so passionate about being a board member. And this came later with the Rome Area Council for the Arts, because that is just so critical to me. And when I look at the things that are promoted by the Council for the Arts, and of course that's just a part of me. The arts are just a part of me.
Well, what was I know that you were instrumental, well, and I didn't mean that pun, but instrumental in getting instruments for students or kids at the church, and working out a way for them to learn.
Well, basically, the instruments pretty much were not purchased by the church. But what has happened, we have a fine arts ministry, which is Esther Vaughn Fine Arts Ministry. With that ministry, we provide training. And that's the key thing. No matter how talented you are, you need to get training. And so for any young person in the church who is a member of the church, and there is certain criteria, but they get a scholarship. For piano, we have some taking piano up at the Thankful Baptist Church School of Music with Mr. Williams. We have students who are taking dance and various other phases. We've had some who've taken drum lessons, and it's whatever the desire is. And it's not a thing that we look at in terms of a need. We just want to expose. So that's any student. There's not any criteria there, but you have to meet certain criteria as far as attendance in church, participating in specific things. Those things are in place before you are awarded a scholarship.
Well, as much as we hear about the schools having to cut back on music programs and art programs, it's so nice that there are options.
Right.
But do you think, see, I don't think most people even know that about you, Ms. Vaughn, that's your passion. I think people know you as the educator, so many people.
Right.
But, and I guess that's more of a public role.
Right.
But in a private role, I don't know if people realize that your passion for the arts and how you're very big for the arts. And,
Right.
and it's not just your name. I know y'all contribute financially to that program as well. We ain't gonna get into all of that,
No,
but I know.
that's not important.
But I know. So I mean, I don't know that people really get to see the entire Esther Vaughn. I think we get to see pieces, but people probably in your personal life get to see more. But I don't think enough people realize how much you do behind the scenes to really make it, what I call this, make it possible for young people to be exposed to those things so that they can have a brighter future. Because so many of us, as you know, I do have a funny story. Ms. Vaughn would always say, if her kids won awards for certain awards at school, she wasn't taking off to go. It had to be, if you won an academic award, she was going to take off. But if you won some kind of sports award or something, she wasn't taking off. So she said her children knew. There were certain things that she would take off work for. She wasn't taking off work for just anything. But I know people know you as an educator, but I don't think they realize that, this passion you have for the arts and other things.
Right. And when you say that, and that's not to say that children don't need that support. Sometimes this might be the only award a child is getting, and they need to know that, as a parent or as an adult, that you care. but I just had certain parameters in my house. And my kids always laugh because they all did sports. And of course, in my house, they laugh. I don't know a touchdown from making a basket and all of that. But that's just a joke, you know.
Well, it really is. It says a lot because I know, you know, Greg has brought this up many times that our schools and our community celebrate achievement in athletics, but they don't celebrate achievement in academics, or at least not as much. We don't hear
Not in
about
the
it. It's
same
not
way.
publicized in
Yeah.
the same way.
You know, I guess you're saying that, but now when you pick up the paper, I think in actuality it's gone. And I don't know, Mr. Shropshire, you are in the middle of all of this, but I see a push when I pick up the newspaper, whether it's the kids who've gone to college and when they have made accomplishments. You open your newspaper and there they are. So there's a lot more of that now than there used to be.
Oh yeah, it's a lot more.
We need to take a quick break here. When we come back, we'll have lots more with Esther Vaughn, so please stay with us.
If you're looking for a new pet that your family will cherish every day, consider adopting from a shelter. Shelters are the best places to find a new pet. That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals, eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet, so bring home your new buddy today. To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to Community Watch, and we are talking with Esther Vaughn, who was a recent winner, the Heart of the Community Award, and we're also talking with Esther Vaughn's life-size cutout figure. Now,
She's gonna be silent though.
are these available online? I mean, can you get one of
No,
these?
there's only one.
Fat head.
There's only one.
No, you know what? We can send that picture to fathead.com and people can order one. I think I'm gonna order Miss Perkins one.
That is not kind.
Well, there's such a broad range of what you've done in the community, and I want to give you an opportunity to bring up some of the things you're involved in that are truly meaningful to you. We've talked a little bit about the arts, and of course, people expect or connect you with education. But there is a long list of boards that you were on and activities that you're involved in. The Arts Council is just one, and I'll say, you know, I attended a Arts Council event last year, a fundraiser, and it was the Beer Fest. I only went to make a contribution. I was not there for any other reason.
Right.
But Ms. Vaughn was there working at the tent, the Racka tent at the Beer Fest. It's probably the one person I was not expecting to see at the Beer Fest, but she was there working hard, and it was a hot day, as I recall.
It was. And that was not my first time working Beer Fest, by the way.
Really? Well,
But anyway, needless to say, you know, when you think about various things, and there have been boards through the past boards that I've served on, and I'm thinking back to Boys and Girls Club. I'm looking at when we did Kids Voting Georgia, when I was on the Board of Elections, but that was separate from that role. But I handled that, and that was very, very significant. Many years ago, it was during a presidential election, and all of the schools, public and private and Christian schools in Rome and Floyd County, were included. And it was a wonderful experience. And the students got that opportunity to hands-on, more of a hands-on opportunity to learn what it was like. I am very involved with the Rome Floyd County Commission on Children and Youth. And again, that falls, and when I say these things, I feel kind of, because there are so many other people in this community who are doing the same things, people that I'm on that board with, who are working hard, who just really have a heart for kids. What has happened now, and because of funding with the Commission on Children and Youth, programs are no longer handled through there. So it's more heading up a collaborative, and that is important. And I think when we even look at our community as a whole, where you have a program over here, a program over there, the bits and pieces, somehow that is one thing I would love to see in our community, where we would come together. And that's something that's being handled now with the Commission on Children and Youth in one aspect, under one umbrella. And things pretty much are farmed out that way. And I use the term farmed out, maybe I shouldn't have. But that's something I would like to see.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. And,
Yeah.
and we've had discussions kind of along those lines about how there are a lot of different groups in the Rome area, and some of them kind of overlap in what they're trying to accomplish, and how much more effective it might be if they could join forces. So that makes a lot of sense, I think.
You know, Ms. Vaughn, I can't let you go because you know I got to hit you with some questions.
Okay.
But no, when I think about the your history, I lost my microphone. When I think about your history, the segregation, from where you come from to where you are now, and how education seems to be we take it for granted now. What's your views on that?
And you know, you probably have a point, because essentially now I look at where we were when I started out and where we have come now. But the one thing, I think people cannot let that get in their way. You know, I'm in an older generation, but they can't let that get in their way of productivity. You don't carry anger from what happened back when. You move on. I graduated from Maine High School, which was a segregated high school. I went to a historically black college and university, because at the time, and I will never ever forget, the year I graduated from high school to go to college was the year that Shorter College was just integrating. And some people had approached, because I had an uncle who was like a dad to me, and he promoted my education. And they approached about my going to Shorter. And I guess then I was about like I am now. I was adamant. I'm not staying here. I am not going here. So it was to Atlanta for me. Others went and have come out and have done great. But at that given time, it was not for me. So you look at how we were determined to make things happen. Whatever area you would go in, you know. That was during a time when blacks were being hired in banks. The telephone company, then it was Southern Bell, They were hiring blacks. I had people who went to college with me who went to the airlines. It was at that time when we graduated, it was at that time that changes were being made. But given now, I think so much is taken for granted. And that's probably what you're talking about. It's just understood. And I'm not sure if we need to, and this is a personal opinion, I am just not sure if we need to keep, yes, they need to, our children now need to understand history. And I'm talking about overall, not just African American kids, but overall. But I don't think we need to continuously beat them up, you know, about the past. They need to know it. It needs to be in their knowledge base. But where do you go from here? That's what they need to understand. Yes, sacrifices were made, but I need to pick up, that doesn't exist. And I know there are things that do. I'm not trying to downplay anything. But the children of today need to pick up where they are now and see how far they can be elevated.
You so eloquently stated that, because I just find, for me personally, when as a history person, that it seems now that we really work hard to get our kids to graduate from high school. When you graduated in 1969,
No,
you went to college. You graduated college in
69. I finished high school in 65.
So if you were graduating in 65, why are we struggling? You know, that's another story.
Right.
But when I see you, I'm always reminded of you, not just you, but people in your generation, that somehow we have to, as you say, pick up and carry that load, because the sacrifice has already been made.
Right.
And we need to take advantage of that and quit resting on that fact.
Oh, you're right. And one of the things, and this can never be played up enough, and that goes back to that home and that the parents, because it was understood back then when you, and the majority of people who finished high school with me, you are going to do something, whether it's college or whether it's going to work in an area, and things were moving up then, but it's like that was an understood thing, and it was pushed in the home. Now it's not.
Well, we need to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more. Please stay with us.
$7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.
Welcome back to Community Watch. We've been talking with Esther Vaughn, who just won the Heart of the Community Award. And I know we just have a few seconds left, but you wanted to acknowledge the folks who nominated you.
Yes, and I do want to give a special thank you to Ms. Pam Hamilton and Rome Police Chief
Snow.
Elaine Snow.
And that's one thing I guess we need to let people know, that for Heart of the Community, somebody actually have to nominate you.
To nominate
so people
you.
need to nominate people they think that are worthy of that cause.
And of course, I thank the Redmond Healthcare Foundation for selecting me. They didn't have to do that.
Of course they did. Of course they had to.
There's been a riot.
course they did.
There's been a riot.
Well, we're out of time. We appreciate you, Ms. Vaughn, of course, and we appreciate y'all for being with us. We'll see you next time on Community Watch.